It is September 7th, 2020. We're here on the rooftop of 6145 Kimberly in La Mesa, California, 91942. The main sewer is clogged. The tenants inside have stated that the bathroom that was remodeled after the purchase, right here above the garage area, is the only bathroom that's being affected right now. They said that the other bathroom is functioning. So we went down this original 2-inch vent right here when we first got here, and it looks like from the remodel they may have altered some of the venting on there. So we then put our camera down this 1.5-inch vent, which is for the lavatory sink under here, and it looks like we do have a little more of a straight access into the line. So we went down there first because there's always a lot of cobwebs in the system, and we wanted to see if we have to put a cable through the system, if we can get through there or not. So here you can see the transition into plastic pipe. Now the horizontal line, now running across, and here's a turn on the system, and then a dump into the main. And that 2-inch line is ending right at this turn, sweeping into the main sewer, and yes, you can see right here all the water that is backed up, and so the line is clogged. You can see all the little floaties. The line is backed up right now, obviously. Push down here. All the water there. We'll see if we see any objects or any other debris. Turn on the line right there. Straight piece of pipe going through. Now we've got some debris, or we're in cast iron pipe. Perforation channel. There has been some debris on the front of the lens. So we're about 40 feet out from the vent, and we're hitting a really tough spot right here that is preventing the camera from moving. Now this could be just the actual blockage itself. We just got to push through that without traveling down the line. Still don't have it, but there we go. So now you can see the line is actually open. So we just got some debris on the front of the lens. So there we go, we're backing up. Now you can see, there you go. See the water that's starting to flow? The line is actually now clearing partially. As we back up here, we're going to go ahead and slowly back up. And we're probably going to be coming back up to just a mound of feces and paper. Okay, now right there on the left of the screen, that should be where the other bathroom dumps into the line. So that's the T-junction that picks up the other bathroom for the house, the hall bathroom essentially. I believe there's two that are back-to-back with each other, I believe, over there, but I haven't been here in a while on this property, so I can't recall. So we're back up to the line here, and as we get closer to this 40-foot mark, we're probably going to start to get a little bit more debris. There's a little floaty debris right there. Probably going to see some mounding of paper and other debris. Okay, there's some debris right there. I don't know what that is. That looks like a huge ball of hair to me. Hard to say. We've seen more hair extensions and other things that can put down the line, but I don't know. It just looks like a lot of little fine stuff. I mean, it could be, I doubt it's roots. But anyway, let's back up a little bit more here. Right here, we're coming through this rough spot, so there's some more debris right there. All balled up with some little fine pieces. I guess those could be roots, or it could be big balls of hair. I'm really not sure. More right there too. Okay, now here you can see it. Here we go. We're passing through. See all that white debris? That's all the paper product. Now we hope it's only toilet paper, but that is the only paper product we should ever put down any sewer line. Nothing else dissolves or breaks apart inside the water. Kleenex, paper towel, any type of wipes, even the ones that say flushable, do not dissolve and break apart. You can see all that white paper right there. So basically, we're just using our camera right there to kind of punch through that and loosen it up. And so sometimes, if you're snaking this, you have to run it through a couple passes because you're trying to just break that stuff up. We may be able to get a chain knocker through here to put the rest of that out, but we're just going to keep moving the camera back and forth. And with the water that's backed up behind it, it might start to clear that out for us. So, here's some more of that debris, so we just need to kind of keep getting that emulsified up, essentially. The camera's kind of doing the same thing a cable would, which is great. breaking it apart, pushing it into little pieces farther down the line. Still not draining out though, it is still backed up. So right here at 40 feet almost exactly, we push through, and then now we kind of come out of that, you can see. So there's just this glob, this little lake of paper, you can see it slowly moving right there. We back up another foot, there's some more right there, it's kind of moving down the line. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to get a bunch of water going through the system here. We need that to move down the system to clear it out. There we go, right there. There's that huge ball. So we're going to go ahead and break this up with more water and more movement. So we're going to pause the video for a second when we go into the unit. Okay, so we have all the water running right now, and we flushed the toilet. Not getting a very good flush, so we actually adjusted the toilet flap with a chain. It's not giving a normal flush out of the system. Right now we have the cold water running through both the sink and the shower. And we can see all that particulate moving on the screen, so it looks like that is clearing out the line right now, and it's draining down and out. You can see, there we go. It's all opening up. So it looks like this is moving out and everything. Looks like this is our plastic pipe right here. You can see that big swirling effect. It looks like everything's draining out really good right now, and moving, clearing out from the system. There you go. You can see it's all being pushed out. We're opening up. Nice good vortex, moving everything. Now we're back into the cast iron right here. So this is this little bit of buildup we mentioned on our first video that happened. So you're basically going from perfectly smooth plastic pipe, and then you get to this rough spot where it transitions into the cast iron. So there's our connection point between the two. Rides in, and then keep traveling all the way down and make sure this moves all the way out. I think those were roots, I think those were little balls of hair or debris. Now we're going to send some photos of the toilet tank again, show inside the adjusted that chain on the flapper. It was just not set right. We tried to do a flush, it didn't even really work for us, so it's possible that thing was not giving the full volume of water each flush. But we also noticed on the toilet tank lid was a package of wipes, and I don't even think they said flushable, but we took a photo of that. We're going to go ahead and forward that to the owner of the property. Just as a reminder, I'm not saying that those were down in there, but anytime you see those, they're only going in the trash can or the toilet. Either one of those is going to clog up. Here's the main property line clean out, and so from this point here, here's the vertical drop on that property line clean out. You can see we didn't pass any roots anywhere. Now made that transition through that. Now with the clay pipe right here, we're going to be able to keep going. It's rare we'd be able to make these 290s and continue to go down the line, but as you can see, we're over 87 feet out. Now, deduct about 13 to 14 feet of that approximately, just say for the vertical, and so you're basically out, let's just say, to right about 75 feet to get from, if you were to pull the toilet all the way out past the property line clean out into this clay pipe. Now, if there was roots in there, you know, again, you'd have to travel at least 80 feet or more, because we're looking down the pipe quite a few feet here at least, and we don't see any roots here either. So if they did pull out roots, then it's possible they had to get all the way out into the street. But we're just not seeing anything there. And we'll stop the water to get a better view of the cast iron, but again, here, the property line on the vertical, there's no roots there. Back up to this cast iron. This is going across the front yard. It's perfectly clean. There's not even any residue or little dangly roots. And if there was roots on the line, they never get cleared out 100%, especially if it was backed up a few weeks ago only. they put a hydrojetter through when they pulled the toilet. So I don't see any roots in this cast iron pipe whatsoever here. So once we stop the water, we'll do another pass. So we just want to keep the water running right now, make sure everything's draining out clean and clear. We want to get back to the plastic. So bare minimum, from what we can see, as long as no wipes or other foreign debris other than feces and toilet paper we put down the line, I guess the only other possibility we'd have to hope for is that that toilet wasn't flushing really well with the way it was set up, and maybe being a little hiccupy, or sitting the right volume down to a flush, and was letting all the debris build up. Now here again is the T-junction, the left side of the screen that picks up the other bathrooms. So we're right here at about 48 feet, just short of that from the vent. Now as we back up from that 47.5 foot mark almost, as we come back through this rougher ABS pipe right here, let's see how many feet exactly it is to the plastic where that's right here. So we need this transition. Oh, that's still there. There we go, right here. So right about 37. So you got about 10 feet of pipe. Here's that little rough lip with all the buildup that scale and deposits on the cast iron. So the only thing that we can say is if it happens again, we maybe recommend going ahead and replacing some more of this piece of section here until we get closer to the T-junction right here, picking up the other bathroom. But we'll look at the bottom of the pipe again once we stop the water running. But again, everything's clear. We just didn't see any roots. We're going to run it out really fast again, all the way to the property line clean out and down again. Let's see how far we can get across that. We'll shut the water off and then take a look again. But it's just, I don't know. Another company that just came out here said they pulled out roots. I guess it's possible farther down into this clay. So here's the vertical transition. And we're not going to get through that. We're not going to try to damage our push rod. So right here we're looking down to the bottom where it runs horizontal again. This is going to be under the sidewalk and frontage area of the property. So we're going to pause the video to shut the water off. Okay, so we shut the water off, we flush the toilet one more time, and now with the chain adjustment it is flushing normal. Again, we're only looking down a few feet of the clay pipe across this horizontal line, but I don't see any roots at least starting here. It doesn't mean that there's possibly some farther down. They would have had to run their cable to 100 foot probably to get to that or so, approximately, to start to get into some areas if they had roots farther down in the clay. So we're going to go ahead and pull back here. We did not see the indicator mark that the other plumbing company when the home was originally purchased for the spot that the property line cleanouts at. So here's that 90 transition. We're now coming straight up this vertical pipe. There's just a little bit of residual water draining down the line here. It's just some debris on the right-hand side. That's not roots. Yeah, it's just a little bit of debris just caught on the line. It could be that hair debris, dental floss or something, I don't know. But very, very small. You can see from the inside down where the pipe or whatever that is just kind of hanging there. It's very small, as you can see as you're looking forward at it. So, okay, right here is this original property line clean out. So there, the vertical part is where the T is that could be accessed to look farther down the line and never clean that portion out. So the camera we're going to leave right here on the edge of this. And we're going to go ahead and now double check this and locate this one more quick time because we don't feel it needs to be dug up right now. But we want to double check the depth and the exact spot the other plumber marked in case they were a little off, in case we do have to come back and dig it up. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we've gone ahead and located this. We did get about 18 to 19 inches deep. The other plumber said 20, so that's what we also essentially got. However, his paint mark, which has faded, is right on the edge of the sidewalk to that front yard, but it's actually on the sidewalk. Well, you can see where our camera is left right here, right before the turn, almost right before you get to that vertical uptick. We're actually 3 to 4 inches into the sidewalk on the city property. So it looks like where they placed this transition and this buried T is actually partially under the sidewalk, and his mark was close to that, and maybe he knew it was slightly in but wanted to paint it a little further, but we made another marking showing this. So you can see we're right before the edge of the turn, which would then be also where that vertical goes, and we're actually under the sidewalk. So unless they did a little zigzag, which is unlikely they do, they usually just cap the top, you'd have to undermine, pull off the old wood beams that are actually in there holding all the rocks and debris in, and pull that out. Now the grade is actually higher when you get into the front yard. So under the sidewalk, right where my camera is sitting now, it is 18 to 19 inches deep. But as you immediately go back, the grade of the front yard is actually higher up. So you'd actually have to dig out a little bit more, and you have to do that to then undermine the sidewalk to get back to this area. But again, we're not finding the need to do that right now. We'll show that. We'll move the ground level and show it. So again, the water's all off now. The tenants are home. You can tell them they're not used anything. So hopefully they don't throw any water. But if you come back here, you can see any roots in this cast iron previously, and I'm not seeing anything now. So unless it was that real stringy ball stuff we saw earlier when the line was still clogged, which is now moved down the pipe, I'm not 100% sure there's roots out there. But that property only cleanup's not in an exact diggable area per se. There'd be a little bit more work to be able to do. There's that one little ball of debris. That's here at 52 feet. It's moved down. I don't know what that is. You can see, almost reminds me of a little stringy piece of like you see on a Brillo pad, but it's definitely smaller, and it looks like thinner, finer. Looks too small to be a ball, a huge ball of dental floss. So I think that's a huge little ball of hair. He just moved on me. So it's not roots. Those are not little tiny fine roots growing in the line. I don't know exactly what that was, but it's 52 feet there. So right here, the pipe looks a little bit better on the bottom here, a little bit smoother. Coming up to the T-junction here shortly. There you go. There's the T-junction that picks up the other bathroom. And usually at the T-fitting, you'll see the way that it's created and has a little bit of mounding effect right there. You can see on the left and right sides of this pipe now. A little bit rougher. I've got those build-up edges on the left and right-hand sides. Not as smooth and clear as it is after the T-junction of that other section of pipe. So just that little bit of buildup, and that was what we encountered here when we get to the end of the line where it has to make the transition. It's just a really rough pipe right there. So we've got that little lake of water. You can see right here the line. There's our plastic coupling going into the cast iron right here. So here's our transition. It's a nice clean transition into there, but as we go farther up here, there's just that mounding effect right there on the cast iron pipe that's got some little bit of buildup that's holding some of that water. So sometimes we can take what's called a chain knocker system and try to clean that up. We might be able to get through this 1.5-inch bend with one of those pieces and try to get that opened up a little bit more. That is the area right here where we had some of that buildup that was all mounding up. So, but as we back up here, this was the transition that we did. We have this all cleaned up and it's nice and smooth. where we did our transition, but farther, about 2 feet forward or so, we get into this sag belly, and there's a little bit heavier mounding right there we have to go up and over. So we're going to pull our camera back here, make sure it's free of debris. This is just all the new plastic that we installed. You can see it all looks good. Everything's drained out. Nice and clean and clear. And now we're coming back up. At the property, it's all open. We'll go ahead and contact the owner and see if they want us to go ahead and try to clean up that other area with possibly a chain knocker, and maybe remove some of that buildup to where it gets rid of some more of that mounding on the line. It may not work perfect. It might leave some of the debris, that heavy debris in the line. So it's not the ultimate method, but without any normal cleanouts, jetting process can't be used in there. So that's the only method that can be used with a lot of running water. So we're going to pause and move down to the ground level with the camera. Okay, so moved into the bathroom here. This is the only one that's clogged. So inside here, when we opened up, we tried to flush the toilet and it didn't flush all the way. The chain was way too loose. So we adjusted that to get nice and taut. Now you can see we put a little pressure. It completely wants to pull up the flapper and empty out the water completely the way it should. Here's what we noted. These are cloth white, blue white, are not flushable. Even if they were, we don't ever recommend this in any shape or form on the top of the toilet tank. This now we flush. Roll. Immediate flush. Not a great flushing toilet. This is a Toto, which is a good Japanese brand, but this is their lowest end model. It's a small 2-inch flapper, not a very high end of theirs. It's kind of the lowest one. Not that that's going to make a difference for toilet stoppages. A little heavier volume would be good for getting through some of that rougher cast iron, but the cast iron really just needs to be cleaned up. So, but again, possibly with normal usage, it may not block up again. We just don't know if any other items like the user going down, it might have clogged that up. With all that white debris, we couldn't really tell when it's clogged. All of it being flushed and moved down the line. So there may not have been any wipes, but we just need to make sure the owner understands that they need to be notified that this cannot go down any part of the system. So we're going to pause and move to the front yard. Okay, so move to the front of the house here. So we just want to go ahead and show our markings. So you can see right here is the old original green mark that's really faded right on the edge of the sidewalk by this old wooden post. And then there's our new shiny green mark. So the old kind of bluing mark and our brand new one. This is where, when you saw our camera sitting, that's where we located that at. And that was just behind the front of the T. And so again, that's a few inches into the sidewalk already. And then you can see the grade is actually way higher when you leave the sidewalk because of these posts that were installed and they're holding all the huge rock bed. We do have a couple of trees in the front yard. So again, we're not saying that they didn't pull out roots, but there's none in the cast iron and none in the front yard, none on the vertical drop as we saw in the video, and nothing at the beginning of the clay. So that would mean that they would have to be in this frontage area or all the way out into the street, basically, if there really was roots. But, as you saw in the video we just made, when we went down to the main sewer, it was only backed up 40 feet into the line. It was only affecting the laundry, kitchen, and that bathroom, not the front bathrooms at all. So it was blocked up there. Putting the clean out here would have not have helped and won't do anything for that. So if there are roots, then in the future this will help, but right now it would be a waste of time and money to do anything about that. So it's possible again, because now they've eradicated the 3-inch clean out that was normally installed in the laundry room, that would have been a way we could have done the chain knocker system a little bit better. We can still try to get one through the roof vent. I'm not sure if it's going to get through there cleanly, and that might help clean up that area at the 39-40 foot mark from the vent, and maybe clean up so that it doesn't hold as much water and lets everything flow through there cleaner. That's all that can be done for right now. But cleanouts out here, at least the property line, are not going to help for what was clogged today. Now again, we weren't the company that came out here 2 weeks ago or so, when they cleaned up the line before, so we don't know if they verified for sure with a camera or just snaking it and it finally cleared after they ran their cable out a long distance, because it took that long to keep agitating the debris, but the stoppage was still at the 40-foot mark or so from the vent, and obviously less from when they had to pull the toilet. But we don't feel any need to do this clean out, and especially because this is under part of the sidewalk, makes it a little bit more complicated and costly to have to undermine, dig out more gear to get underneath this, because you cannot saw cut and jackhammer this concrete sidewalk. So that concludes the recording for this property for today.